Yo, there's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, signing in live and large. Little review, bada bing, little review, little rating. We're gonna do Slayer, Rain in Blood. Epic record, timeless record, a classic. At this point, onwards, 75% of all metal bands to this day have been nothing but the spawn of Slayer. This record is something else. Relentless. It gives you a little bit of food for thought, a little bit of space to breathe from time to time. It's not direct, ruthless, high-paced aggression from start to finish. Throughout the 30 minutes you're given, you probably get about a minute 30, 2 minutes, couple of slower riffs, couple of spaces, as to where you can think, wow, half decent that. Onslaught of tremolo picking, Lombardo on the drums. To me, I'm not a drummer. I think I am a drummer in my soul. Because when I was younger, I used to dream about being the drummer of a band. Just unfortunately, when that dream manifested, I couldn't really make a loud noise in the house, so I picked up the guitar. But the drumming on that record is something that would inspire me. To start drumming. Skank from start to finish. Tupper Tupper from start to finish. The record is incredibly punk rock without containing many punk rock elements. Aggression, speed, an edge to it. The rest is just fast forward, full speed ahead metal. Alright? Shred, incredibly tight, incredibly fun. If you yourself are a musician and wanted to pick up the guitar and learn how to play some of them songs, wow, once you got them tight under your fingertips, some of them riffs. One of my favourite Slayer moments is the end of Postmortem. The mini track that bleeds into Raining Blood. You've got like 4 notes. Thrash metal. Doo. They were power chords, it'd just be a hardcore punk number. And Raya's vocals peppered at you, peppered at you, peppered at you, machine gunned at you. It's an incredible mature sound, and it's a great deviation from Hell Awaits. Hell Awaits was mature. Hell Awaits had an aura to it, an energy to it, an atmosphere to it. They've kept this atmosphere a little less grim, a little more hellfire. A blazing, soaring heat as opposed to a dim, grim, grey, endless, solemn place. I listened to Master of Puppets the other day. I did a reaction to the entirety of it. Whether it's out on this channel or not at this point, who knows. But if it's not, it's available on Patreon. And Master of Puppets was incredible in its own way. But what Rain in Blood had and what Slayer had, which took them on their path, was a ruthless aggression that still stands to this day. An extremity that didn't need to be overt. There needed to be no brutal toilet guttural vocals, no drop tune to hell and back slamming, disgusting riffing, no audio onslaught, wall of sound, booming, horrible place to exist, no consistent pure noise blast beats. It was tight, it was composed, but it was so unrelenting that to this day it stands above the rest. I hear a band now. If they're don't matter what it is, I'm thinking you're one of Slayer's sons. That's a Slayer riff. You sound like Slayer. Thrash metal Slayer. Metalcore Slayer. Crossover Slayer. And this is the point where it became real. Heavy metal, the first record, we were thrash metal, but we were incorporating these traditional heavy metal aspects, a little bit of blackened stuff in there, the precursor to black metal stuff in there. Hella Weights. We were quite progressive in sense. But Rain in Blood was just pure metal, thrashing, mad intensity. I was born in the 90s. I can look at a lot of these 80s acts, let alone 70s acts, and think, you had your time, it's not aged well. Don't appeal to me, you've lost your pizzazz. You don't hold a candle to what's going on nowadays. Rain in Blood still sounds fresh. I listen to the remaster, don't get me wrong. Polish it up a little bit, sparkle it up, give it a little scrub. The playing is ruthless, ridiculous, intense. But not intense to an extent where you're thinking, I need to turn this off, this is horrible. This is way too much. Because there's a craft, there's a musicianship, there's a relationship in the band as to where they've come together and thought we're going to create the most palatable extreme metal. Thrash metal, yeah. But it's not plain and grey like 90% of thrash metal. It's got this tinge of so much more that everybody else started to try to replicate but never created. You just became another arm of the Slayer legacy. Rain in Blood, 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. How would I improve it? I like my mid-pace chug riffs. Endless Onslaught, fast push party stuff is okay. I don't want to get in the circle pit. I want to start throwing elbows. I want to start kicking off. You get a little bit of that in Jesus Saves. Is that the right tune, yeah? Bum bum bam 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 bam. Little bit of that there. And of course you've got the Angel of Death riff, which was ripped off by 100,000 different bands. There's a UK band called, if you like your thrash metal and you like your crossover thrash and you like elements such as this, I don't say this in a disrespectful manner, but they did sort of try and lift this riff. But they were a good band, very good band. Band called Stamping Ground. From the UK, Stamping Ground. Alright, worth checking out if you're into that. Metalcore, yes. Of course, you got bands like Shattered Realm and so forth that do the whole Slayer thing and incorporate their beatdown style of element into the mix. Slayer really does reach out into all these markets. They've got the metalheads on lock, and then they just dip their hand into the hardcore and just say, how many of you lot can play as fast as this, as relentless as this, as aggressive as this? Let's mosh. I'm signing out, people. One love.